Lipos. Hey.
Alright, let's meow this. This is a rap about Ilman and Grey, the two cool cats bringing Meow Go. Hey, what is Meow Go? I'll give you a lesson in juicy pussy tricks and whoops. Now here's my session. Started off one day with a dope man. His name was Dan. Had a plan. A man with a plan and a competition, but his spelling, it caused a petition. IGOW. What the hell is that? The W makes no sense. Are you a prat? The W is supposed to mean whoop. With these IGOW rule changes, it's gone to poop. IGOW. Now the cats are here, coming in clutch to remove fears about dance. ABC, so let's get down to the X.
Do you wanna do an orbit? Upside down around the ball. It can be anywhere, at any height we'll find we're really tall. We used to be best buddies, and now we're not. I wish I could make you split. Does it have to be an orbit? Yes, it has to be an orbit. Okay, I'll try. Do you wanna do an orbit? Upside down around the peak. I think this trick is overdue. I started scrolling through the Reddit for the week. It gets a little lonely on these packs, just watching my whoopers down. I think I got an orbit. I think I got an orbit. Okay, let's fly. Okay, let's fly.
Meet the tunny hoop. The male hoop or brazen must perform a dance and press the female hoop, called Skittles. Brazen practices his dance to be sure it is absolutely perfect. He builds a pouch to lure the female in. Once she's touched upon this apparatus, he is ready to start the show. The dance is so complex, the eye can hardly follow. Two of these, one of those, before you know it, his dance is over. Skittles is aroused. Hubba hubba. Skittles is captivated by the mediocre performance. She exposes her buttery port for insertion. Grayson extends his BT2.000 connector. Hubba hubba hoo chewy wobby wagga. With his task completely, little brazen tunny hoop flies away to prepare for next week's adventure.
Oh man, baby, that was good.
You can split my ass anytime.
You're the best.
Going out to fly my whoop, flying through a loop, fly backwards for infinity loops. Going out to fly my
I'm gonna rip some packs around the house. I just need a mission for submission tricks that I can learn how and then train for a couple of days. Until I have all the clips that I need. IGOW is a whoopaholic's paintbrush. IGOW is a whoopaholic's toothbrush. I need to go acro now. I wanna be that quadcopter up in the sky now. And I'm gonna risk my whoop, 'cause I've got another whoop. And I can't possibly fly two whoops, at least simultaneously.
What's up, everybody? How we doing? Oh, I realize my main player is not. One sec. Whoop. There we go. All right. What's up, everyone? How we doing? It's the final stream of IGOW5. Here you can see the leaderboard. Our final four pilots, AJ.fpv, Callisto, Backwoods, and ChaCha, all made it to the final four. We started with 2,382 pilots registered, and over the regular season, that got chopped down to 32 pilots. that made the playoffs here. They should get a slightly different color. Everyone in the playoffs gets a little bit lighter gray. And then those pilots battled in the playoff group draft where they all made up challenges, and or group round where they drafted teams to battle against and then made up their own challenges. And from there we went on to the bracket rounds. The 16 pilots were seeded in from 1 through 16, and then they went head to head in challenges in the round of 16. That narrowed it down to 8. And then same thing in the round of 8, the same set of challenges basically narrowed it down to 4, which left AJ, Callisto, Backwoods, and ChaCha battling for the IGOW crown. So, I should say hi to everyone. How's everyone doing today? We got Johnny Scars here. We got Backwoods Chaser, the Real Spoova, Sweemtube, Tyrant, Cumber, or Hotspur, I'm not sure. I forget which one is which. We got ChaCha, another finalist with Backwoods, Geekbench Goons, Lounge, Bry5, Little Ripa, ND Special, Madax, Easy B. How's everyone doing? Callisto in the house, and AJ. We got all 4 finalists here to see who's going to win. Blix also, Equity, Lori. How's everyone doing? Okay, so this stream shouldn't take too long, but yeah, so that was the bracket. And in the final round, just go over, you can vote. If you want to vote on who won, I'll post that link here in chat. You can vote in the chat here on this little vote, and you can actually, that's to this live stream. That's not what I was looking for. I posted it just up here. Here it is again. All right, but we're gonna watch the videos here in a second. Okay. So in the finals, let's look at the rules real quick. In the finals, we had a little bit of a different finals this time from any other previous season, and a little bit different than most IGOW challenges. The one thing that I've always felt that Barrett's Builds, what's up, Barrett? Haven't seen you forever. All right, the one thing that I felt that, or I've always felt that IGOW is lacking, that almost all competition type things have, is some form of pressure and like being able to, perform when it matters. If you watch any other type of sport or competition, almost always the greatest people of all time in that sport are determined by who can perform at the highest level when it matters, when the pressure is on, and when you have to perform and everyone's watching, and then you can still get it done. So that's kind of hard to do the way IGOW is formatted. It's not obviously an event where everyone's at one place, so you can't have everyone do their runs together, and people are all over the world. I've always wanted to have something where pilots would live stream their final runs all at the same time, but that type of logistics is just way too hard to set up. So this year I wanted to kind of at least start moving towards that type of thing. Ideally in the future, if IGOW got really big and we had some big sponsors, I'd want the final 4 pilots all to fly out to one location, and then they could actually have a competition live against each other. But short of that, what we did this year is basically all the pilots had about a little bit more than 2 weeks to make up a freestyle line that of whatever they wanted, and then they needed to send the TPW, that's Tyrant Pro Rooper, score sheet of the run they were planning on doing to me ahead of time. and then they had to pick the start time for their final performance. And then at that start time, I gave them a secret hand sign, which you'll see them do in the each of the runs. They all had a unique one. And then they had exactly 30 minutes to try to do their best imitation of the run that they've been practicing, so sort of like a routine, and then submit that, and submit it within 30 minutes. So, you know, they can maybe have 20-25 minutes of attempts and then sent it in. So it's not like something where they had 2 weeks to make their best run ever and put that in. They had exactly 30 minutes to try to replicate a run that they had been practicing. And the way it was scored was there's 100 possible points for everyone. And myself, I scored all of the categories, and so did all of the judges, which is 6 other the judges that you've seen during the season. We'll go over that in a little bit here. But there was overall impression, that's just the run overall, and anything that you couldn't put in any other category. Then style/flow, both those categories were worth 15 points apiece. Then the TPW score is like the Tyrant Pro Whooper score sheet, where it's kind of like Tony Hawk scoring for FPV, and that was worth 25 points. And then the TPW accuracy, that was like how accurately you replicated the run that you declared. That was worth 5 points. And then there was trick variety, execution, difficulty, and musicality, each worth 10 points. So all the judges scored the pilots on these different categories, except these 2 were just locked in by scoring. But the other 70 points each judge scored, and we'll look at the final runs now and the final points. So let me bring up the final runs. Oh, I should have a link on the actual thing. So first up we had AJ. AJ's led pretty much all season. He didn't miss a single challenge during the regular season. He won challenge number 5, which was the Half Matty Pendulum. In the playoffs, he was one of the captains, and he pretty much swept his group. He got everyone's challenge and got everyone to fail his challenge. Then he beat Lowndes in the first round. He got Chatbot in the round of 8. And then here is his final run. That actually might be too loud. All right.
Reluctantly crouched at the starting line, engines pumping and thumping in time. The green light flashes, the flags go up. Churning and burning, they yearn for the cup. They deftly maneuver and muscle for rank. Fuel burning fast on an empty tank. Reckless and wild, they pour through the turns. Their prowess is potent and secretly stern. As they speed through the finish, the flags go down. The fans get up and they get out of town. The arena is empty, except for one man still driving and striving as fast as he can. The sun has gone down and the moon has come up. And long ago
Some cheese hole action here. One little bump right there. That Maddie right there was sweet. And then technically right here he does an eject roll, but he cut his video off and then lost the clip. But in the original raw score, it was there. So, because your time was supposed to start when you do the first trick,
Reluctantly crouched at the
which would be like right here at like 5 seconds. So we had like 5 extra seconds. Anyway, that was just if you're looking at the TPW score sheet. You'll notice that. All right, next up is Callisto. Callisto was the only one of the 3 that decided to do his run inside, which in TPW scoring means you only get 60 seconds, but the tricks are worth a little more because it's obviously easier to crash inside or hit something. All right. There's Callisto's hand sign. His was the live long and prosper. Play it out. So on Callisto's run, he got 60 seconds. And if we watch him take off here, his first trick starts at about 55 seconds. So he has till 1:55, maybe 1:56 to finish his tricks. And if we go here, does his last trick right there, gets that Immelman off, but then runs out of time before starting this very last double rolling trippy spin. So that actually cost him quite a few points because this was worth a lot, especially with his full bonus, and made it a lot closer overall. So next, let's look at Backwoods. The nerves were real. That's what I wanted to replicate, AJ. I wanted to have some actual pressure. It's a lot harder to perform when the pressure is on. Backwoods run was very trippy and Maddie heavy, but it makes sense at his location. And then the one mistake there gets the beam on that power loop. Very nice run there from Backwoods. And our final competitor is ChaCha.
I think it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Very nice. Nice work by ChaCha. All right, those were our 4 final runs. So again, they only had 30 minutes to perform this run that they had planned out ahead of time. And then so that was their best attempt at their run. No one got their run quite perfect, but they're pretty close. So I guess let's just dive into the scoring. See who won this season of IGOW. All right. So final 4 scoring again. 30 points for the TPW. That's 25 for the points and 5 for the accuracy, and then 70 points for the judges categories, which was overall impression, style, and flow, both 15, and then trick variety, execution, difficulty, and musicality at 10 each. So put in the thing here. Okay. Let's go bottom to top. What happened? Oh, that was left over from before. Okay. So here's ChaCha's score breakdown. I'm going to go over my scores because I obviously know what I was thinking compared to the other judges. But here we'll also take a look at the spreadsheet afterwards. So overall impression, I gave ChaCha a 12. That's out of 15. Style and flow is the one place where I thought ChaCha's run was a little lacking. He kind of, instead of like flowing the tricks together, he kind of like would fly from one obstacle, set up to do a trick, do the trick, fly to the next one, do the trick there. So that's why I kind of a lower score there. Trick variety, he had like every type of trick and a lot of them, and didn't repeat any tricks. So I gave him a 10 out of 10 on that one. Execution, 7.5 out of 10. Pretty good. He did have one wall tap or one accidental bump in there in the whiplash if you look closely. And then difficulty, he had some inside and some outside, but most of the tricks were performed on that kind of bigger gate, and a lot of the tricks were not as difficult, so a little bit lower score there. And then musicality, I thought he did the best out of everyone by quite a bit. Like, the idea for musicality was the score, you should try to choose music that complements the feel of your flying and location. And also, ideally, you'll have tricks or motions that line up, that hit with the beats of the music. You can choose your music ahead of time and build your run along with the song, or you can try to find a song that matches after the fact. And I felt like ChaCha definitely did the best version of that. Let's watch through his run one more time and kind of talk about some different parts. So I'm pretty sure he obviously picked this song ahead of time and planned his run out to it, because it works out just about perfectly. He gets started, and kind of when he's doing these initial tricks, it's kind of the lower music,
Okay, 3, 2,
chilling.
1, let's jam.
And then he kind of jumps into it. There was that one little DVR aberration there. But you can see, like, here, he does the tricks and then he flies outside and turns around. Like, that's that setup move here to line up with the next gate. That's kind of why those type of things are kind of why I gave a lower score on flow. Right there, that was an unintentional tap. He hits the wall. So that was the one kind of tiny little mess up out of the whole run. Nice inverted yaw spin there. See, then again, kind of like has to point towards the next obstacle and go. Oh, one thing here Tyrant pointed out to me. So to do trippy switch, you have to do one trippy one direction, then the trippy switch, and then another trippy the other direction. And then for the full 2 trippy spin points, you have to do 2 more trippy spins. So you'd have to, after the switch, you'd have to do 3 trippy spins if you wanted to have both of those. And ChaCha just does 2. So that was a little bit of a lowering of the score. But all his tricks are pretty cleanly executed. None of them have major issue. A little sloppy there. But again, kind of like just flying from one obstacle to the next and doing the tricks. But right here at the end was my favorite part. He like gets that wall tap like right as the music is like crescendoing and ending. That was like almost perfect. And then his hand sign was like playing maracas and it like lined up perfect. He lands. And then that, so I definitely thought he had the best musicality by a long shot. He's the only one that really like planned anything out anyway. So 54 total points from me. The judges average a little lower, 49.9. Tyrant gave him a 61, Heads a 56, OG Dr. Love a 43, Mo a 48, Blasta 61, and Bri5 was the harshest judge by far on all of the pilots. He gave a 30.5. All right, so that's ChaCha score. Oh, we'll take a quick look. No, we'll do those all at the end. All right, next, Backwoods. All right, Backwoods. So, Backwoods, solid overall impression. Did have that one pretty big crash, which I personally lowered the overall impression and the execution a decent amount for the one crash. Even though it wasn't a full crash, it was more of a bump. Good style and flow. I thought he linked his tricks pretty good. It was a lot of trippies and maddies. So they all kind of like flowed together pretty well. That was why the trick variety was a little lower, even though he had a lot of tricks in there. There's a lot of different things with trippy spins, and Matty flips was most of the run. So a little lower score there, but still solid. Execution, that one crash, I took off like 3 points for, and then some of the other tricks were a little bit sloppy, but solid overall, 5.5. Difficulty, I gave Backwoods a lower difficulty than everyone else because his location was cool, but technically the obstacles were a lot easier to do the tricks on. The trippy spin obstacles were really tall, and the Matty flip obstacles were really tall, so it's a lot easier to pull the tricks off than, like, you know, inside on a TGS or something. So a little lower there. And musicality, a 3. I liked the song, but didn't really have any like parts to the music. So let's watch Backwoods one more time here. And I'll talk about the other judges' scores. Alright, so my total score for Backwoods was 44. Tyrant gave him a 47. Heads a 50. OG Dr. Love a 39. Mo a 47. Blasta 54. Oh, wait a minute. I think I have the wrong score for Blasta. Hold on. Oh no. 11, 14, 7, 7, 7, 8. Oh yeah, Blasta gave high scores on musicality. .54 from Blasta and Bry5 a 23. So that was the one bump there. The other one slightly picky thing, you're supposed to do 2 trippy spins for the double trippy spin thing, and all of Backwoods were like, the 2 times he did it, it was like 1 3/4 trippies. So I just took off a slight amount for that. Like, for example, let's see, right after he comes off the wall ride, he goes 1, 2, almost 2. Right, so comes off the wall ride, goes into the trippy starting, that's basically 1, and it would be 2 if he went back under, but he goes like about 1.5, 1 3/4 ish. So slight deduction there. But what I did do, well, we'll talk about that when we look at the top scores, but great run by Backwoods. He had some other cool things in there that weren't exactly scoreable. That's not really a trick in the TPW, like after he exits the trippy here, he like trippies up and out of the top, which is cool. I think that's right here. Yeah, up and out the top. So that didn't really get picked up in that, but I gave him some extra points in other categories because he had stuff like that. So great job from Backwoods. Overall, ended up with a 43.7 by the averages. ChaCha was a 52. All right, next up, Callisto. So Callisto, I gave a 52.5. It's really solid overall impression. Style and flow, pretty good. The only complaints I had there was that twice he orbited around a structure before starting to go a trick on it, which is like better than just like flying up to it and turning around, but it is kind of like what I consider like a setup motion Trick variety is the one place where I felt Callisto lacked a little bit, just because he was trying to score a lot of points. So he did 3 Brawnies, which are worth a lot, and then he did 2 sets of trippy spins and trippy switch. And yeah, so he repeated those tricks a number of times, so a little lower score there. Execution nearly perfect. There was like 1 half Matty and 1 Brawny that were slightly sloppy. Other than that, it was basically perfect. Difficulty, super hard. He's doing everything inside and on the TGS or through a single gate. So pretty much every trick on one of the harder obstacles you can do it. Musicality, though, pretty lacking for me. Like, it just has kind of some generic music. But yeah, let's watch Callisto one more time. Talk about some of those points. So starts off with some hard tricks right away. The loop to Matty, that's worth quite a bit. Mavy roll, eject roll. That spin around there, I kind of considered like a little bit of a setup motion. Super clean Brawnies, basically perfect execution on both of them. Really nice trippies, again, inside. Difficult. Nice execution there. Nice flow into the wall tap. That Brawny, maybe slightly sloppy. Not quite as good as the other ones, but then another spin around setup. That was the one trick I considered like definitely sloppy, because it's supposed to be a half Matty, but he really only gets like 90 degrees, not fully inverted before kind of backing out. But in regular speed, it still looks cool. Then at least I like that he did repeat the trippies, but this time he did it around the entire TGS instead of just the pole. So that lended some variety. This Immelman was pretty sweet. And then if he had got into this trick with enough time, like, it would have been, this would have added an extra, like, I think like 1,600 or 1,800 points to his score, but not quite. But yeah, I gave him 1 point for having music, and then 1 point because right here at the end, I think he actually edited it so that the music restarts. So when it goes from the end to here, like, I think he just put it back to the starting of the song. But at least that was something. So great job by Callisto. So far, Callisto winning over ChaCha by 3.2 points. And most of the judges gave him the highest score. He got 63 from Tyrone, a 63 from Heads, 59 from OG, 56 from Mo, 61 from Blasta, and a 45.5 from Bry5. All right. And our final run, AJ. AJ, I really liked his run overall, but he did have 1 tap, so I had to lower the overall a bit. And then Style and Flow I thought was nearly perfect. He shows, I think, a good, perfect how you can still go from like area to obstacle, but like it doesn't seem like there's any extra setup motions. There's 1 point before he goes to the cube where there's a little bit of setup, so I took 1 point away. But other than that, I thought the Style and Flow was excellent. The path he mapped out was great and fit the tricks in. Trick variety, really good, lots of different tricks. Only repeated 1 trick, and I think that might have been partially a mistake. But it didn't have quite as much variety as ChaCha. ChaCha had like 1 type of every type trick. I think AJ didn't have any side loops, or there was something, so I pulled off 1 point. Execution pretty solid, but he does have a pretty decent tap at the start of the cheese holes where he's doing a Matty flip. So that was where most of those points came off. Difficulty, really solid. Not quite as difficult as Callisto's, just because of the obstacles mostly. And then musicality a little higher, but still basically just picked a song and put it on his run. There were a couple of spots where I felt like it lined up a little bit, but in general. So that was his hand sign at the beginning.
Reluctantly crouched at the starting line. Engines.
So I love the flow here. So he goes from the brawny straight into the trippy, and then right into a couple tricks here on the beam, and then he switches like smoothly to that beam, and then straight down the little tunnel there. Does some tricks on the end of the pergola, and then he just straight under the gap here to into some open air tricks, which come down a little bit of a setup there, but not too much. And this is where he has his one mistake. On that Matty flip, it looks like he grounds out there and hits the down low, but still kind of finishes it off. So I counted it as a bump rather than a crash. That part is super clean, and then into the tap, Immelman, straight into the tree. Even fills the little like extra space there with the flip. Double rolling trippy. It did give a little bit of a sloppy thing there because a couple times he comes out and the tree is clearly like right side up instead of upside down. This is one of my favorite tricks of the run. This deep into it, like more than a minute in, and he goes for the power switch tap or Jackie Chan on this small beam here. That was sick. And super precise. He does get one small penalty here because he does 4 tricks in a row on the same beam. So after 3 tricks, you get a slight penalty on the same obstacle. That there was the one like time where there was kind of like a setup motion. He does the 4-ani, and then he has to like lean back to get to the cube. But it was pretty small. Anyway, really nice run from AJ. I think I scored AJ the highest out of everyone. Yep. I gave AJ 54.5. Callisto just 2 points behind with a 52.5. And then ChaCha a half point behind with a 54. So that's the scores. Just 70. And that was out of 70, right? So AJ, I gave a 54.5. And Tyrant gave a 55, Heads a 47, OG a 53, Mo a 56, Blasta a 60, and Bry5 a 38.5. Alright, so now we're going to get into the last part of it here, which was the TPW score. So, 25 or 30% of the score was based on the TPW. So, if we go into AJ's... I guess we should go from the lowest score up. Let's start with Backwoods. So Backwoods right now has a 43.71 as his average. And if we look at his sheet here, oops, that's ChaCha's. Double paste that one. All right. Let's try this again. There we go. All right, Backwoods, final score. All right, opened up with a roll, then a flip, pole dance, 540 split S, power Matty, trippy spin, trippy switch, double rolling trippy spin, Matty flip, roll on-y, flip on-y, custom trick 1. So this was a 1 point where I kind of adjusted the calculator myself, because the custom trick was when he did a trippy spin around a pole and then did a half trippy that like slalom back and forth, 5 back and forth slaloms, and then a single trippy at the end. So I put that in here and it was only worth 1, 2, 3, 450. And just a double rolling trippy spin is worth more than that, so I bumped it up a little bit. I felt like it should be worth at least 750, so I gave him a few more points than that custom trick should have technically been worth, but I feel like that was easily worth at least that much. Then reverse wall ride. This was the second trippy spin where he didn't quite do 2 full trippy spins, so he gave a sloppy there. Then the power loop with the crash in it. He didn't actually get over the beam, so it wasn't truly a power loop. I counted it more as a flip with a crash. Not that it really matters what you put in there when it's a crash, because you get 0. And then did a single trippy here. That's what that was. Couple cradles and finished it off with a mag twister. So his total score 8,685. All right. Then if we go next, ChaCha or AJ, who has the highest score? 52. AJ. Okay, so ChaCha next. Just saw. Didn't I just open it? I guess not. All right, ChaCha's. All right, ChaCha, a little bit higher here, 8,897.9. You can see a huge list of tricks. He had 30 total tricks in there. Pretty clean the whole way. The side lock rewind, I marked as sloppy because it was wasn't exactly a side lock rewind. It was kind of the motion, but not exactly. Then in the whiplash, he had that one little bump, which actually creates quite a bit of points down the line. If he had got that clean, that jumps it up all the way to 9,700 more points there. So that was a pretty costly little bump there. And then the rest were clean from there. So that one sloppy side lock rewind and the one bump, other than that, super clean. You can see no repeats. Basically got every trick in there that you could think of. Maxed it out. So great work by ChaCha on that one. So just slightly higher score than Backwoods. That one bump costing him a decent amount. All right, next up, AJ. So AJ scored a significant amount more, 10,894. So he started off with the brawny, then went to the trippy spins, Matty flip, reverse power flip, half Matty roll, and then Matty twister. Where was the first sloppy? The custom trick number 2 was his inverted. I think it was supposed to be an inverted and it kind of just was like only a half of it not, and it wasn't quite level, so a little sloppy on that one. Custom trick 3. Okay, that was the loop to Matty that he did in the cheese holes, and he had to back up a little bit and it was sloppy. And that one also, if it was only worth 200 points total in the custom trick, a half power loop and a half Matty flip, but that's basically just the 200 is what a Matty flip or a power loop is worth alone. So I figured that should be worth at least twice that. So I gave him 400 points for that custom trick. This is the inverted half flip. Then 2 little yaw spins and a roll. And then the double rolling trippy spin, we said it was a little sloppy because definitely had the tree come right side up few times, but other than that, it's pretty clean. Got that extra eject roll counted, even though he cut off the video just before, for a total of 10,894. It was close on the 540 split S. Tyrant said he would have marked this one sloppy, but I thought it was close enough to clean that I left it. And finally, Callisto, who was already leading, so if he has the highest score, pretty much know that Callisto is going to be your winner here. And Callisto, the final score of 12,086. Pretty solid overall score here. So everything clean. Gave Tyrant thought that Brawny on the single gate was sloppy. I kind of agreed. That one was close. The half Matty I also gave as sloppy. But other than that, perfectly clean, as you can see. And if he had gotten that last double rolling trippy spin, it would have added another 1861. So he would have really blown everyone out with a 13,000, nearly 14,000 point score. But that one came a couple seconds late. So we have 12,086.5 total for Callisto. Giving him the highest score. So basically how it worked is Callisto got 100% of the points because he had the highest score, and then your percentage of Callisto's score times by 25 was the amount of points you received. So AJ got 90% of the score, Backwoods got 71, and ChaCha got 70 or 72, and then 73.5 for ChaCha. So that gives us 25 points for Callisto, 22.5 for AJ. Backwoods just under 18, and ChaCha just over 18. And then TPW accuracy was based on how accurate you were to the form that you submitted ahead of time. So AJ did almost all of his tricks. When he did that Matty and hit the ground, it seemed like he was just doing a regular Matty, but on his sheet he had like flip to Matty marked. So he's supposed to do like a flip and then a Matty. So that was a slight thing there. And then at the end he didn't get 2 tricks in, or a couple of tricks in that he was planning to. So I gave him a 4 there. Callisto did every trick on his list except for that very last one. He just missed by a fraction of a second, so 4.75. Backwoods did pretty much every trick he had listed, but he did them in like almost a completely different order. And he swapped out a few tricks for other things, so he was the least accurate to his form. But he did do pretty much every trick on his list at some point. So I gave him just over half the points there. And then ChaCha did every single trick that he planned to in the same order, so he got a perfect 5. All right, so that means Callisto is the highest score for the TPW as well as the judges' scoring, making him our IGOW5 champion. Congratulations to Callisto. A great run from Callisto. I think most people thought Callisto was going to run. Actually, AJ had a really good run, and ChaCha had a really good run for different reasons. I thought it was pretty cool to see everyone like kind of excel in different parts of the challenge, but definitely scoring the most points and really executing all his tricks basically perfectly was what gave Callisto the win there. If he had gotten that last trick in his score was like just under 14,000, right? It was like 13,900 or something. Then that really would have made the scores more extreme. But missing that trick made it a little bit closer. But Callisto still the winner, I think, on everyone's scores overall, because he made up just over 3 points there. So I had him 2 points down to AJ, so he still would have won on my scores. Then, yep, he wins. Yeah, he won according to every single judge. Everyone had him scored the highest, or the one person that had him, there was one person that had him tied. The Blasta had him tied with ChaCha. Other than that, he had the highest score from every single judge. Oh, no, Mo actually gave AJ 0.5 more, but still none of it was enough to overcome the 3-point gap that he got from the TPW raw score. So, and that also means second place, AJ, third place, ChaCha, and fourth place, Backwoods. Congratulations to everyone. Let's put that into the official standings here. Where's the standings? Oh, right here. Whoop. Whoop. Callisto, you're champion. Not too much of a surprise. Callisto won challenge 2, 3, 6, and 9. Took challenge 10 off, just kind of like a bye week, basically, preparing for the finals. Only reason he didn't have a clean slate. So great job to all of our competitors. And Callisto, let's look at some of the stuff Callisto won. And all of the pilots that are here in the finals. So, Callisto, did you buy a ticket to Utopia? Let me know. Did you buy a ticket? So, performance-based prizes for our fourth place finisher, Backwoods. He's going to get a trophy from Coded, 3D printed trophy with his pilot name and finished position. Then from Skittles, he's going to get a Whoop box and some stickers. I've got all those Whoop boxes over there in a big stack, you can see. From Orca, $25 cash. From Dogcom, he gets 4 320 mAh batteries. From Custom, he gets a 3D printed Whoop box with his position on it. Let me show those real quick. Actually, everyone 1 through 8th gets one of those. So here's the first place Callisto on. From Neo's UV Creations, $50. From VCI, a set of motors and a hat. From GemFan, props, shirt, hat, bag, and stickers. And $75 cash from Velocitron. Total of $429 of stuff. In third, oh, put in the people. Oh, I didn't put these in either. Oh wait, I put it in the wrong spot. Okay, anyway. ChaCha. Oh, you can't go to Utopia? It's on Valentine's Day. You won a ticket. We'll go over that in a second. All right. Next up in third place, ChaCha. He gets everything that Backwoods gets, plus a little bit more cash and a West Coast Throwdown 2026 ticket. It's actually a pretty good value. I forget how much West Coast Throwdown tickets cost, but it's quite a bit. $175 pass. So that's pretty good prize right there. So congratulations to ChaCha. Then in second place we have AJ.fpv. Again, everything from above, plus a couple extra batteries, more cash, and also a ticket to West Coast Throwdown. Total of $817. ChaCha a total of $629. So both for the top 3 pilots all get a ticket to West Coast Throwdown 2026. Hopefully you guys will come out there and challenge me and try to take my freestyle championship away. Because it's definitely not going to be Nightwing. So maybe we need some other pilots. And our winner, Callisto. Callisto gets everything from above, plus Tiny Hawk Nano Scout from Emacs, the presenting sponsor of IGOW, so he can also help him win some prizes in RaceGow. He gets a $100 code to bling his minifig out, which is another prize from Derpy Hughes, a custom Lego minifig, and a bunch of cash from more cash than all the other pilots. A ticket to West Coast Throwdown, and the big one, a ticket to Wootopia 2026. So hopefully you can go, Callisto. If not, I'm sure you can sell that ticket in some way. So that's a total of $1,558. Which of the top 3 pilots can actually make it to West Coast Throwdown this coming year? I know that's a long way for ChaCha and AJ. Pretty far for Callisto too. It's all the way over in Oregon. And when is it this next year? Oh, they don't have 2026 up yet. But it's always sometime in like July. June, July. ChaCha will be there. Nice. AJ's going to see how much flights are. Sweet. I saw you got a Weebly Northeast ticket, Callisto. That's sweet. So you can go to Utopia too now. Or if you want to sell that one ticket, I'm sure it's worth a lot. Oh, we should look at the audience vote. I didn't even think about that. It didn't play a role in the actual scoring, but let's see what the audience thinks. Wow, really close between Callisto and AJ. A total of 10 points between 72 total entries. So that's an average of 8.5 score for Callisto, and an average of 8.36 for AJ, 7.18 for ChaCha, and 6.8 for Backwoods. Can I look at... I should have made this a multiple choice. Who do you think won? Callisto obviously had the highest peak. Oh, but people spelled AJ's. Let's see. AJ 1, 7, 8, 9, 19, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 28 for AJ. Callisto had 1 plus 20, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So just a few more for Callisto. That was really close. Handful for Backwoods, handful for ChaCha. All right. Well, that's gonna wrap up IGOW5. Let's do this real quick. Okay. Oh, and the one other thing you get, Callisto, is you get an invite to be a IGOW team pilot and to be a Weebleed team pilot. I confirmed that with Jeff already. So yeah, we'll probably bring you into the group today. And yeah, you gotta be a IGOW team pilot as well. This is the end of IGOW5, Blix, but there'll be an IGOW6. Yeah, any questions or comments from anyone? How you feel, Callisto? Now that you are the champion. This is a big day for Team Whoop Trek too. Team Whoop Trek now has 2 IGOW champions amongst themselves. That's Bry5 and Callisto, if you didn't know. Pretty impressive. Who else is gonna win from Team Whoop Trek? I can't see Jace. I can't see it happening for Jace. Jaceus maybe? Brazen? Ooh, you guys gotta train Brazen. You train up Brazen. He could be the next IGOW champion. I thought he was going to make the playoffs this season. He just didn't quite make it. You're all in the voice chat. Freshbread's not much of a freestyler. He's a racer. Yeah, so IGOW6 is probably going to start hopefully in March. I want to start it a little bit earlier so it doesn't have to overlap with RaceGow at all. So if it started like a couple weeks earlier. I think the length was pretty good on this one. The regular season actually could have been slightly shorter. Maybe a slightly longer preseason, a slightly shorter regular season. But I think overall this was probably one of the more efficient IGOWs. I only heard a couple people say they got burnt out. Jojo, who started in RaceGow too, he did really well, but then he said he got burnt out. How far did he go? Yeah, he made it all the way to Challenge 7 without it letter, and then took 4 letters. I don't know, I think it's actually pretty good with the 11th instead of going 12 weeks, 11 total. With the 11th challenge being the like chopping block. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. If you RaceGow is on now. If you want to play a GOW game, head to racegow.com. We're on track number 2, which is actually due tonight at midnight. A little less than 11 hours. And yeah, the next live stream will be RaceGow live stream next weekend. Big thanks to all the players this season. Huge thank you to all the judges for helping out during the season and judging. Super thank you to all of the patrons and, of course, all of the sponsors. Oops. I'm still on RaceGow. All of the sponsors, especially Emacs, the presenting sponsor of IGOW5 and of RaceGow5 as well. And shout out to our supernovas, We Bleed, Velocidrone, Rotor Riot. You know what? Let's just do this here. Let's run through all of our sponsors once and call it in IGOW5. Alright, I'm gonna have to hide these for now. Where is that logo? Just delete you. Okay. Our Emerald tier sponsors are Progressive RC, Joshua Bardwell, the FPV Know-It-All, Wootopia, T-Bone FPV, RaceGow, John Coopy, UDL, Pacific North Whoop, Tweet FPV, and Aerial Outlaws. Our Gold tier sponsors are VCI, Hoot FPV, Derpy Hooves, GemFan, Firefly, HQ Prop, T-Hobby, Tune RC, Wreck Drones, Team Whoop Trek, bringing you your new IGOW champion, Average Jane and Joe's FMV Race, Team Black Sheep, 533, Tyrants Pro Whooper, and of course, Ogre FPV, the creator of the IGOW logo, the IGOW5 logo. Alright, in our Platinum tier, we've got West Coast Throwdown, Pyro Drone, Newbie Drone, Blasta, Dogcom, Radio Master, Orca, Custom FPV, and Happy Model. In the Diamond tier, we've got HD0, Crazy Leica, Infinity Loops, Minifigs.me, Fractal Engineering, Decks of Dexterity, and the Whoop Group. Whoop Group. In the Supernova tier, we've got Rotor Riot, FPV Skittles, Velocidrone, Neo's UV Creations, Beta FPV, Nick Burns, and of course, We Bleed FPV, Callisto, the newest We Bleed FPV pilot, and our presenting sponsor of IGOW5, Emacs. Get your drone stuff at Emacs USA. And a huge shout out to Emacs. Definitely participate in the Nano Scout spec in RaceGow. It's some of the best odds to win prizes. There's about 30-40 pilots in it right now, so some pretty good odds there. Alright everyone, thank you for playing and participating and watching. Thanks Sip, thanks Blix, thanks Brazen, thanks to everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed the season, and hope you come back and play again next year. The one thing we are going to have to change about IGOW6 is I don't know if we can watch every single video every week. We might have to do some type of RaceGow type thing where we don't watch every video, but we'll figure that out when it comes time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let's change this real quick. Who is the IGOW champion? Callisto. Callisto. All right. Everyone have a good, enjoyable rest of your Sunday. Get your RaceGow clips in. Oh, I just need to send the track to Mr. E on Velocidrone, and it'll be up later today. Sorry for the delay on that. Had some other organizing stuff to do for IGOW and stuff, obviously. But we'll get that up here today before the end of the day. And yeah. See you guys in the next RaceGow stream.